So Kajabi just released their new enhanced checkout to all plan users, and I'm seeing so many course creators just rush to upgrade all of their checkout pages without even realizing the limitations that could actually hurt their business. Before you go and upgrade on your offers, there are some critical things that you need to know, because these new checkouts isn't just sunshines and rainbows for everybody. And depending on how you sell, it might not even be the right move for your business yet. In this video, I'm breaking down the real benefits of this fancy new enhanced checkout, the limitations that Kajabi's not really highlighting, and most importantly, whether I actually recommend if you should use it or not. Little spoiler, my answer might actually surprise you, so stick around to the end for my final recommendation. So if you've watched my videos before, then you know that I'm known for giving you the raw and unfiltered truth when it comes to new Kajabi features. I'm not just about all of the big hype out there that's so exciting. So Kajabi, they really do put in an incredible effort into their updates, and they release some genuinely amazing features. But here's what they don't really tell you. Sometimes they release products before all of the kinks are worked out, or they simply just don't highlight those limitations because they're so excited to get new tools into your hands. So what I do is I test these new features with real businesses and on my test account, and I find these little glitches and the limitations and the workarounds. And I share all of that with you guys so that you can make the best decision for your business and not just jump on every shiny new thing. Now, if you want to stay on top of every Kajabi release the moment it drops and get kind of personalized guidance on whether it's right for your specific situation, then you'll need to join me in the Unstuck Me Club. And this is where Malva and myself and our team, we're going to give you real-time updates on new features, and we're going to answer your specific questions about your business and help you to troubleshoot when you need more than just a YouTube comment response. Sometimes the questions that you're wanting to ask, they need a bit of a conversation, like a back and forth. And that's exactly what you get when you're inside of the club. So head over to unstuckmeclub.com. Of course, the link's in the description if you want to come join us. Trust me, if you're serious about using Kajabi the right way, this is where you want to be. Okay, let's dig into the enhanced checkout and what you actually need to know. So why exactly did Kajabi create a new enhanced checkout? What was even wrong with the previous checkout? Well, honestly, the biggest issue was the fact that we did not have very much ability to customize or design the checkout page. We really want to be able to put features on the page that's going to help convert, right? The whole point of the checkout page is to make the sale. Now, when you're being restricted by your platform on what you can actually do and put on your page, on your checkout page, it makes things really challenging for some business owners. You really want to make sure that your checkout page matches the rest of your website. So the branding and the styling of it, you want it to be the same. And the native features in the checkout just didn't allow for that. So we've had to use custom code to help so many Kajabi customers be able to get a checkout that matches the rest of their brand. And even just so many simple little things, like even just a footer on the bottom was not even there. We had to code that in using custom code. So really, the community has been asking for this for a very long time, and we're really excited that Kajabi has finally done it. They've given us a new enhanced checkout. So let's take a look at like what exactly did they fix in the design area. So they finally gave us the design control that we've been asking for. We have more visual customization, very much like the landing page builder. So like backgrounds and fonts and just the color customization. All of that is really easy to do now, just like you're in a landing page. And the best part is the fact that we now have tons of content blocks that we can use. It's almost like you could create like a mini sales page on your checkout page because of the amount of flexibility that we have to choose what kind of blocks do we want to put on that checkout page. The other feature that was added in is the ability to add to cart. So they had done the cart feature several months ago, and now they've integrated it with the checkout. So if you have multiple items that you're selling, you can add multiple items to your checkout. Before we couldn't do that. All we could do was just sell one item at a time, which was very challenging. The other thing that I love about the design control is the fact that we can now import and export templates for a checkout. So if you have a really solid design for your checkout, you can share that with someone else, right? And so for service providers like ourselves, we're excited because we can actually make templates for one client and then go and use it for another client, obviously, tweaking the branding, but to have the core functionality of that checkout page be templatable is phenomenal. We have third-party template sellers like, Penny in Your Pocket. She's one of the most popular Kajabi template providers, and she's currently working on creating these checkout templates for us to be able to purchase from her. So it'll save a ton of time in having to do all of the design work, just like a sales page template, right? It cuts back the time a ton. And so if you wanted to grab one of Penny's checkout page templates, there'll be a link for them in the description of this video. Now, another really big feature that I love is the fact that we finally have the multiple pricing options all on one checkout page. This was the number one thing that we would have customers come to us for and say, hey, can you code multiple pricing options on one checkout page? And we've been doing that for years. But now you can do it without needing a service provider to code it for you. You can literally just click a couple of buttons, fill in what do you want your other pricing option to be, and there it is on the checkout page. So you can now do monthly and annual subscriptions all on one checkout page. You do not need any fancy workarounds. So this is a super exciting feature. Now, the currency, you can have multiple currencies in the Kajabi checkout. That's not new, but now you can actually see what currency you're in. We used to have to always go and put in custom text so that we could tell people what the currency was. So this added feature is definitely a huge benefit, especially for newbies who don't know that it doesn't show the currency. So it really just helps with just clarity on your checkout page. Now, the footer was something else that we used to always have to code. And if you use their native footer, it wasn't even at the bottom of the page. It was like way up in the text area. It was ridiculous. We never used that. But now it's a proper footer where you can actually put your link list in there. You can put your company copyright in there, which is phenomenal. And you can even put your social icons if you really wanted to. I don't recommend social icons on a checkout page, but it's there if you wanted it. And the number one thing that I love about us having more design control is the fact that we can do custom coding in it. We can do CSS and liquid coding. So really the sky's the limit now on what we can do inside of a checkout page. Now, of course, there's limitations, right? Like I said, it's not all sunshines and rainbows here. There are significant limitations at this early release date. Now, of course, if you're watching this in the future, many of these may have been fixed by then, but it's important for you to know about them now for those that are watching it, as this is being released, so that you are aware of what's actually going to be a problem right now that could affect your business. So the number one thing that I think is the biggest issue is there's only one email automation available for post-purchase. So if you're doing the two pricing options, if you're doing monthly and annual, you're only going to get one automation. So it's on purchase, do this, whatever it is, add a tag or send him an email sequence. So if you wanted to tag somebody yearly and somebody monthly, you can't do that right now. They can only get one tag because there's only one automation. So we've requested that Kajabi add this in so we can have multiple automations on this because it's part of our customer tracking and our customer relations so that we can make sure that we are tagging for each option as well as automations to revoke and to grant. And there's just a lot that needs to be done with automations. So this is a very important update that needs to happen. So right now, if you're doing multiple pricing options, know that you only get one automation, regardless of which option they choose. Price text override for multiple pricing is another thing that's unavailable, not as essential as having the automations, but it is really nice to be able to customize the text. Sometimes we might not want to say yearly and we want to say annual, right? Like it's simple, but we need that customization. Some people even want to change the language if the translation isn't exactly what you want to say, right? So we need that price text override. The other big issue that I find is that now that you have the two pricing options, typically we would have two links. So we would have an annual link to that checkout, and we would have a monthly link to that checkout, and we could put those two links on a checkout page in two different spots. But now we don't get two links, we get one link, and that one link is going to be for both payment options. So that can be a little bit of an issue, especially if you're using the old checkouts and then you go and upgrade, and then now you've got bad links on your sales page. So something to be aware of. Another thing that happened that we didn't expect to happen, nobody would think that the functions of the page checkout page would change, in the sense that they've removed the option for someone to set their password at the very beginning of the checkout process. They've now created it where you fill out your name and credit card information and email and all that. Once you finish clicking submit, you start to process it. Then you go and select what your password is going to be. So your member sign up, your customer account creation is now a second page. Before, we were able to do it all in one shot. So you could just choose your password right off the bat when you're filling out the form, which for many of us, that is the best way to do it because it's less restriction, right? You don't have a second page load, which it can cause potential issues. So we're really hoping that Kajabi will give us the option, because yes, some people do want to have the two pages, create the account, log in separate, but many of us don't. So we want to make sure that we have that option. So that right now is the current limitation. The order bump and the upsells, they have not been touched. So those don't have the design capabilities. So they're pretty blah right now. I have a feeling that that one's on the roadmap because you got to get core functionality before you do all the little extras. So, but right now, bumps and upsells have not changed at all. The other thing to keep in mind when you are going design is, there is a lot of ability to customize the page. The actual white behind the checkout, so where you put your payment details and stuff in there, that is stuck as white. You cannot change that right now. If you think about it, it's not really a big deal because it is important for readability that you have dark text on a white background in order to be able to see that checkout information. So not a huge deal, but definitely a limitation when it comes to the freedom of design that we've been given. In that place, it's kind of been blocked. So if you want to know my final verdict on whether or not you should use the new enhanced checkout or not, basically, if you have been running for a while, you've got all your offers and things are going well and you're selling, you don't need to update. Just don't. You don't need to make changes if it's working. But if you have that little birdie in your shoulder that's kind of saying like, hey, what if you tweak this little thing? Maybe that'll give us some more sales. Or you've had it in the back of your mind for a while, like, oh, if only I could put a countdown timer on it. Or, I just really wanted to change up the look and the feel of it because I think it'll work better. Go ahead and test it. It's not a big deal to go and test a new checkout. Just don't get rid of your old one, right? Because if you want to flip back to it, you want to still be able to have it. So just duplicate it and go ahead and upgrade that duplicate one into a new enhanced checkout, connect it to your sales page or wherever you're sending it, and check to see if it works. If you have a sales increase, right? Because there's no harm in testing it for a certain period of time, right? That's kind of basically what we need to do in business anyway. So just don't lose your original in case you need it. Now, if you're brand new to Kajabi and you don't really know what the old stuff really was, you can still go and use the old one, but you might as well just go with the new enhanced checkout and get to know it and become familiar with it. But I caution you, please keep your checkouts simple. Do not go and put a million different kinds of blocks on your checkout page and go design crazy on it. Checkouts are simple. You are there to just give them the opportunity to buy. Okay, so go ahead and try the new checkout. I think you're going to love the design features. Just don't get overwhelmed by trying to do everything, and just keep on the top of your mind that you want to make sure that you're optimizing this for the sale. It's not about having fun with, design. That's not really the point there. Now, if you want to see a full walkthrough of the new enhanced checkout, I've got that video over here in the playlist, and this playlist has all of the new feature updates, both past and the future ones that I create. So you want to make sure you bookmark that playlist so that you can follow along with me in all of the different feature upgrades.